How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Tzadiches, Daf 98 of Masechta Sanhedrin, friends. Friends, we got another big one today, all about Mashiach, basically. So let's do it. We're going to start on Daf Tzadizayin Amud Beis, about 10-15 lines from the bottom. It is the third of the widest of lines on Tzadizayin Amud Beis. Amar Rav says, Rav Kol HaKitzin V'nadav V'tali Ele B'tshuva U'maisim Tovim. Says Rav, look, we've just had a lot of suggestions for, this is when Mashiach is going to come. But look, at the end of the day, says Rav, it's dependent on us Yidden doing tshuva and Maisim Tovim. U'Shmuel says, Shmuel, Dayu Le'ovel Sheyamid Be'evlo. It's enough for a mourner to just deal with his mourning. I think so. I think what it means is Rashi gives two suggestions. I think it's basically like, look, we got enough on our plate. The Mashiach's going to come when Mashiach comes, whether we do tshuva or not. What does Rashi say? Can I even find it? So I think his second explanation is what I understood more. It's enough that we have to deal with the pain of galus. Like, even if we don't do tshuva, eventually Mashiach is just going to come. And this machlok is Tanoi Rabbi Eliezer. Omer says Rabbi Eliezer, Im Yisrael osin tshuva negolin, vim lavi negolin. Says Rabbi Eliezer, if the Yidden do tshuva, they'll be redeemed. If they don't do tshuva, they won't be redeemed. Omer le Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua says to Rabbi Eliezer, Im ein osin tshuva ein negolin. So says Rabbi Yeshua that what if they don't do tshuva, then they will never be redeemed? No. Ela HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'amid lo ein melech shegzeros of kashrus ki hamon v'yisrael lo osin tshuva machzir lemuto. So Be'etzim says, which is Givaldi, because I learned this Gemara. I think I learned this Gemara on Shabbos, and Shabbos was Taka Shushan Purim, and there was a Gemara about Haman. There were so many references to Purim when I was learning these Gemaras Purim time. Anyways, so says Rabbi Yeshua, no, look, even if the Yidden don't do tshuva, so the Rabban Shalom will send, a terrible person like Haman, and then we'll do tshuva memelis. Okay, either way, whether we do tshuva or whether we're forced to do tshuva, well, whatever needs to happen will happen, and Mashiach will come. Tanidah, we learn another brayso of Eliezer. Omer says Rabbi Eliezer, Im Yisrael osin tshuva negalin. If the Yidden do tshuva, they will be redeemed. Shenemar, Basil says, Shuvu bonim shoivavim, erpa meshuva seichim. Do tshuva. Amelo, Rabbi Yeshua responds, Valuk vanemer, but the Apostle says, Chinom nimkartem, veloy bekesev tigalu. Which pasuk is that? Tigaelu. They've been sold for nothing, and you will not be redeemed with kesef. Chinam nimkartem b'avodas kachavim, because of avodah zarah, because of the nothingness you were sold into galus. V'lo b'kesef tigaelu, lo b'tshuva maisim tovim. You will not be redeemed with tshuva and maisim tovim. Rather, I guess, regardless, you will be redeemed. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says to Rabbi Yeshua, "V'lo k'vanemo shuvu elai ve'ashuva aleichem." Right, return to me and I'll return to you. Do tshuva. Amar Rabbi Yeshua responds, "V'lo k'vanemo." The Apostle says, "Kanochi bo'alti bochem v'lakachti eschem echad mi'ir v'shnai mi'mishpacha ve'evesi eschem tzion." That regardless, I will bring you back to Zion. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says to Rabbi Yeshua, "V'lo k'vanemo." The Apostle says, "B'shuva v'nachas tivosheun." That you have to do tshuva. Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Eliezer, Valuk vanemer, Karam Hashem goy Yisrael v'kedosha livzo nefesh v'misoiv goy v'levet moshlim. And even for these negative people, Melachim yiru v'kamu sarim v'yishtachavu. Nonetheless, even if you're not necessarily doing the best things, the kings will see and get up, and the officers will bow down. So Ki'ilu Mashiach's going to come regardless. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says, "Valuk fanem." The Apostle says, "Im tashu v'yisrael Hashem elai tashu." That do tshuva. Amar Rabbi Yeshua. Valuk fanem. The Apostle says, "Ve'eshmar sa'ish levush abadim Hashem imal lememi ayor ve'yarom." I think yemino usmolo el hashmayim ve'yishova be'cheya olam ki lemoid ma'adim. That I think lemoid ma'adim basically means that at its proper time it will come no matter what. V'chetzi v'chichalos nefetz, nipetz, yad am kodesh, tichlena kolele. So like that means that whatever, Mashiach is just going to kind of come when it's time to come, regardless of Tshuva Ma'asim Tovim. V'shasuk Eliezer, and Eliezer was quiet with that response. Okay, so we saw the machlokes between Eliezer and Yeshua about do you have to do Tshuva in order for Mashiach to come, or will Mashiach just come anyways? Okay. From Rabbi Abba says, this is how you know that the Mashiach is coming. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, V'atem hare Yisrael anpchem titenu uferyechem tisu la'ami Yisrael v'gomer. That Eretz Yisrael is going to provide fruits and trees for the Yidden. Rabbi Elazar Omer af mizeh, but also from this shenemar ki lifnei hayomim haheim schayra adam lo niya v'schayra behema ineno v'layotzi v'lavay in shalom min atzar. That it's going to be modern times. My liotzi v'lavay in shalom min atzar. Rav Omer af tamidi chachamim shekasu boim shalom dichsiv shalom av lahaviso esecho in shalom b'nei tzar. Even the says Rav, even the Talmidei Chachamim about whom it says shalom Rav lahaviso esecho, still they will be in trouble as well during this time. Shmuel Amar says Shmuel ad sheyu kol hasharim kulin shkulin, says Shmuel that all of the prices are going to be the same. That can mean that like all prices are going to be the same. Like I don't know, the price of rice is going to be the price of same as the price of wine. Another opinion is like everything's just going to be super expensive. Things are getting kind of expensive now. Amar Chanina says Chanina bin David ba Aji is bakish dog lechoyle, that Mashiach is going to come when you need a fish for a sick person v'lo yimotze, and you won't be able to find a fish for a sick person. Shneimar, as the Pasuk says, Oz ashkim emeim v'narosam kashemen olich, that their rivers are going to be like oily, and you can't really have fish, I guess, swimming in oil rivers. V'chosav bayomahu atzmech keren leveis Yisrael, and it says, and on that day I will bring Mashiach. Omer Reb Chama Reb Chanina ein ben David ba ad shetichla malchus hazolo mi Yisrael. Says Reb Chama Reb Chanina that the cheap government is going to end from Israel. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, v'charis hazalzon b'mazmeros uchsebasu b'oisa hi yuval shayla shem tzvakis am mimshach morat. I think maybe that's how you read the Pasuk. Memushach morat. Okay. So like government is going to be like a bad government. The bad government's going to go away, and then Mashiach's going to come. There's a lot of psukim and just kind of like technical stuff on this stuff. Amar Zeiri says, Zeiri Amar Chanino Emin David Ba Yichlu Gase Aruach Misrael. Oh wow! When there won't be any haughty people. Shnemar Ki Oz Osim Mikirbecha Alize Gaivosech Uchziv V'Shaiti Bekirbech Am Oni Vidal V'Chosu B'Shem Hashem. Okay, that there won't be any more haughty people, and then Mashiach will come. Omar Reb Simlai Mishum Reb Elazar Reb Shimon Ein Ben David Ba Achichlu Kol Ashoftim V'Shochim Yisrael. Mashiach is going to come when all the judges and enforcers are gone from Israel. Shenemar V'Ashiva Yodi Alayich V'Esav Kabor Sigayich V'Gom V'Ashiva Shiftayich. And then I will return your judges. I think the point is that implies that, well, until then they were gone, because in order for Mashiach to come, the judges and stuff have to be gone first. Amula in Yerushalayim Nifdei Sela B'Tzedakah. Yerushalayim is going to be redeemed with charity. Shenemar Tzion B'Mishpat Tipade V'Shaveh B'Tzedakah. Okay, Zion is Yerushalayim is going to be redeemed with tzedakah. Amar Papa Ibatle Yehire Badle Amagushe. If the hardy people go away, then the Amagushe go away. Who are those again? The Persian magician people. Ibadli Dayone, if the judges go away, Badli Gizir Tafe. And those people are the judges of the Umas Ha'olam. Ibadli Hire Badli Amagushe D'chsiv V'etzav Kabor Sigayich V'asire Kol B'dilayich. Ibadli Dayone Badli Gizir P'tei D'chsiv Heisi Hashem Mishpatecha Pino Mishpatayich Pino Oivech or something. So that is coming to support that claim. If you see a generation that is becoming less and less chakilo, that means that you should wait for Mashiach to come. That a poor nation you will save. If you see a generation that lots of bad tricky things are happening to them like a river. Chakil, wait for Mashiach Shenemar, Ki Yavoy Kanor Tsar Ruach Hashem Nosus Abo, V'samachleu Valitzion Goyel. Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan, in Ben David Ba'ela, Bidor Shekulo Zakai or Kulo Chayiv, that Mashiach is going to come in a generation that's either entirely good or entirely bad. Entirely innocent or entirely guilty. Bidor Shekulo Zakai, that when your nation is all righteous, then you will get Mashiach. Alternatively, in a generation that's entirely like guilty, that like there's no good people. Well, I'll do it for myself then, says God. Amar Alexandri says of Alexandria. B'shuban Levi Rami. B'shuban Levi asks, "Siv beito chsiv achishena." On the one hand, the pasuk says, right, it says, "Ani Hashem beito achishena." Beito means I will bring Mashiach at its proper time. Achishena means I will bring it early. So zachu achishena lezachu beito. Well, if they didn't merit, so the Rebbeinu Shalom will bring Mashiach early. If not, then at its proper time. Amar Alexandria. B'shuban Levi Rami. Alexandria says, B'shuban Levi asks, "Ksiv ve'aru im anone shmaya." Okay, I guess Mashiach is going to be like the clouds. Kvar inish. Also, I forget what that is. Kvar inish. Kivar enosh osei. Uchsiv ani v'rochav al chomer. Okay, the thing is like on the one hand, Mashiach is like a cloud. On the other hand, Mashiach is going to come on like a poor person riding on a donkey. So is it like clouds or like a donkey? Well, if they didn't merit it, then Mashiach will come like fast, riding on clouds. If not, it'll be riding on a donkey. Shmuel said to Shmuel, you say that Mashiach is going to come riding on a donkey. Well, you know what? I'll give you my best horse. How about that? Why don't you use that? De Isli, my best horse. So Amalei, Shmuel says to King Shapur, Mi'islach bar chivar gavne. Well, you look, if maybe you have like your best horse that's like has 1,000 colors, then maybe, but otherwise, I think Mashiach's donkey is going to be just fine. Ben Yochai, this is a little bit of a cryptic story. Rabbi Shimon Levi found Eliyahu Hanavi. I think he was outside, like Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai's cave, like while he was like hiding from the Romans, like while he was learning there with his son. I think Amar Le Asina la'amud asi, and Rabbi Shimon Levi asked Eliyahu Hanavi, "Am I going to go to Olam Haba?" Amar Le Eliyahu Hanavi says, "Im yirtza adon hazeh." If this master wants, I think it means if Hashem wants, so you'll go to Olam Haba. Omar Rabbi Shimon Levi Shnaim Reisi we call Gimel Shamaiti. He says, I saw two, maybe like of us, like Melia and Eliyahu Hanavi, but I heard like three voices maybe. Amalei Emas, because like Hashem was there. Amalei Emas Osi Mashiach. So then Rabbi Shimon Levi says to Eliyahu Hanavi, when is Mashiach going to come? Amalei Eliyahu Hanavi says, Zil Shai L'Dide, why don't you go ask Mashiach? Vechi Yosef. Rabbi Shimon Levi says, well, where can I find Mashiach? Apischa Dekarta. Well, he's at the gate of the city. Umay Simoni, okay, but how am I going to find him at the gate of the city? Yosef ben Aniyeh Sov Lechalem. Well, he's going to be sitting amongst the sickly people. Now, all the sick people are going to be there switching their bandages, and he's also going to have bandages that he needs to switch. But the difference is they're going to remove all of their bandages and then put on whatever ointments they need to, and then put all the bandages back on. However, Mashiach is going to do one bandage at a time, because just in case, he's needed, right? Omar Dilma Dilo Iakev. Right, well, maybe I'm going to be needed. Maybe I'm going to need to come, and I don't want a scenario where all of my bandages are removed, and now I have to wait to put them all back on in order to come. So therefore, he does one bandage at a time. So maximum, he just needs to put back on one bandage in order to be able to go and proclaim Mashiach. Omelei Shalom Alecha Rebbe Umaris, and Rabbi Shimon Levi finds Mashiach, and he says, Shalom Aleichem, Omelei Shalom Alecha Bar Levoi, and Mashiach responds, Shalom Alecha, the son of Levi. Amar Le Emas Osimar. B'Shimon Levi says, when are you going to come? Amar Le Hayom. Mashiach says, I'm coming Hayom. I'm coming today, Be'etzim. Also, the Gab Eliyahu. So now Rabbi Shimon Levi returns to Eliyahu Hanavi. Amar Le, my Amar Lach, and Eliyahu Hanavi says, what did Mashiach tell you? Amar Le, so Yeshua ben Levi says, Shalom alecha bar Levi. Well, he said to me, Shalom alecha bar Levi. Well, he just guaranteed, right? By saying Shalom alecha bar Levi, he guarantees that you and your father Levi will both be in Olam Haba. Amalei Shakuri Kashakabi, but then Rabbi Shimon Levi says to Eliyahu Navi, but he lied to me at the same time. The Amalei, because he says Ayom Asina V'Leosa, that he says I'm coming today, but he hasn't come. Eliyahu says no. What he was saying is Hayom, that he's coming today in Bekol Tishmo. If you didn't listen to the voice of God, then he will come today. Shalu Tamidav is Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma. Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma's students asked him, when is Mashiach going to come? He says, he says, well, I would tell you, but I don't want you to have to ask me to prove it with some kind of a sign. No, we're not going to ask you to make a sign. So he says to him, that he was referring to the gate of Rome. He said when the gate of Rome falls down and they reconstruct it, and it falls down Nachamo, and then when it's going to fall down and it'll be rebuilt, it'll fall down Nachamo, be rebuilt, and it'll fall again. But this time, before they have a chance to rebuild it, Mashiach is going to come. And sure enough, those students said, all right, give us a sign. He said to them, I thought the whole deal was that you weren't going to ask me for a sign. They said, okay, but still, can you give us a sign? Fine. So Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma says, okay, fine, I'll give you a sign. Anyways, the sign is that the water in the cave of the Pamias should turn to blood. Sure enough, they did turn to blood. So the sign worked, and that was a sign that I guess what he said was true, that when the gate falls and is rebuilt and falls and is rebuilt and falls again, and Mashiach is going to come. Fine. So B'shas P'tiraso Amaloyin Hamikuli Aroni, and when Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma was dying, he instructed his students or whoever was there, I want you to bury me very deep in the ground. Shein kol deko v'deko shebebavel, shein sus shel parsim nikshar bo. Okay. So he says that in the future, what does Rashi say? Shein kol deko v'deko v'chol klomar asidim paras umadai lavo al bavel v'lachda. That Paras and Madar are going to come to Bavel and they're going to capture it, and then all of the Bavel is going to be filled up with every single palm tree is going to have a horse tied to it. And the Madai people are going to be digging up coffins in order to use the wood for building troughs. So he says, I want to be buried really deep in the ground to avoid that, I guess. Says Rav that Mashiach is going to come when the evil kingdom spreads out in Israel Tisha Chaloshim for 9 months. Shinemar, as opposed to says, Lachin Yitnam ad Eis Yoleda Yolodo V'yeser Echov Yishuvan al Bnei Yisrael. So basically, Mashiach is going to come after 9 months, which is the amount of time for a pregnancy. Ula says, Ula says, I want Mashiach to come, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to experience the Chevle Mashiach, the birth pangs of Mashiach. And Rabba also says, look, I want Mashiach to come, but I don't want to see, I don't want to be there to, I don't want to experience the Chevle Mashiach. 1 second. Okay. Rav Yosef, Amar Yesi, Rav Yosef says, no, I want Mashiach to come. Ve'ezkin, I will merit the Esav Betula de Kufisa de Chamri. If only I can merit to sit in the shade of the dung of his donkey. Abai the Rabbi, my time. Abai says to Rabbi, why are you so concerned about the Chevle Mashiach? If you're going to tell me that because you're concerned about Chevle Mashiach, but Rabbi Lazar's students asked him, what can a person do to be saved from Chevle Mashiach? He should be busy with learning Torah and doing charity, doing kindness, and he will be saved from the Chevle Mashiach. And Rabbi, you do learn Torah, obviously. You do Gmilas Chsadim. So what are you concerned about? He says, well, maybe my sins will cause me to have to experience the Chevle Mashiach Rabbi Yaakov Ba'idi, Rabbi Yaakov Ba'idi Rami Ksiv. On the one hand, the Pasuk says, "Hine anochi imach shmaticha b'chol asher telech." The Rabbanu Shalom says to Yaakov Avinu that I'm with you and I'm going to guard you wherever you go. And nonetheless, Yaakov Ma'od Vayetzelo. But at the same time, Yaakov was scared about his encounter with Esav. But what's he scared about? The Rabbanu Shalom said he's going to be with him. Well, he's concerned that maybe his sins could change that reality, and he was scared. Kedetani is one of the Brisa. Ad Yavram Hashem. That when the Apostle says Ad Yavram Hashem, Ad Yavram Zukanisa, it's a reference to both the first time the Yidden went into Eretz Yisrael as well as the second time the Yidden went into Eretz Yisrael when they returned with Ezra. That really the Yidden were it was befitting that miracles should happen when the Yidden returned to Eretz Yisrael with Ezra, just like the first time when they walked through the Jordan. However, but sins that they had done in the meantime kind of ruined that. Similarly, Rabbi Yochanan says, I want Mashiach to come, but I don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't want to experience the Chev of Mashiach. Rish Lakish says to Rabbi Yochanan, what are you concerned about? Because the Pasuk says about that time. Kasher Yanus Ish Mipnei Ari, like a person fleeing from a lion, go Adov, but then he encounters a bear, Uva Abayis, and he escapes from the bear and he comes home. And he gets home and he puts his hand on the wall and he gets bitten by a snake. Like it's just going to be bad stuff. But it says Rish Lakish, the fact of the matter is that reality even exists nowadays. If a person goes out to his field and guess who's there? The person who calculates the sizes of the land boundaries, and he could basically take land away from you. So that is like going outside and there's a line there. Right, and if he gets back to the city and there's the tax collector, it's like, oh no, it's like he's being attacked by a bear. Then he gets nachash, and then he gets home and he sees that his children are starving. It's like he's being bit by a snake. So that concept even exists nowadays. So what are you concerned about, Rabbi Yochanan? Because the pasuk says, "Shalu no ru'u im yoled zocher." Go see, are men going to give birth? Why am I seeing that all the men have their hands on their loins? Like a woman giving birth. And all faces will be pale. What's I saw all these men? The person who all the strength, all the might is his, Hashem. And what is all of the faces are going to turn pale. That both the the legions above and the Yidden below. That at the time of Mashiach, and because right now the Yidden we're having some trouble these days. People don't act so nicely to the Yidden. And other people are much more powerful than the Yidden right now. And Hashem's going to say, how? Hashem's going to say, look, both, all the billions of humans are my creations. And how can I push away these in order for the Yidden to step up? And therefore it's going to be troubling times. Right? If you have an ox, and your ox is your main working animal, but the ox gets lost. So now, or got hurt, and now you replace the ox with a horse. And now the horse is kind of in charge. When it comes time, when the ox is back and it's time to replace it, it's going to be, hey, how can I replace the horse? How can I move away the horse to replace it with an ox? So also so when it comes to time for Mashiach, it's going to be a tricky time because, Hashem's going to say, how can I remove the currently powerful people and replace them with the Yidden? It's hard to kind of move things around, I guess. Even if it's just to reinstate what was or what should be. Says Rav Gidon Merav that in the future the Yidden are going to experience the years of Mashiach. Rav Yosef says of Yosef Pshita, that's obvious. I don't understand who else is going to enjoy who else is going to experience the days of Mashiach. Chilik and Bilik. I think Chilik and Bilik is like Tom, Dick, and Harry. No, of course the Yidden are going to enjoy can experience Mashiach. Well, that's the exclusion of Rav Hillel. Well, says Hillel that Yidden actually already experienced the days of the days of Mashiach during the time of Chizkiah. So what we're saying is, so what Rav Gidon Rav is saying is that no, in the future the Yidden are going to experience Mashiach. Mashiach has not yet come. Rav says, Rav, lo ibre alma ela the David. The whole world was created for David, who wrote Tehillim and all the praises of Hashem. Ushmuel Amar Moshe. Shmuel says the world was created for Moshe, who brought the Torah. Reb Yochanan Amar the Mashiach, that the world was created for Mashiach. Mashma, what's the name of Mashiach? To Reb Shila Amar Shiloh Shmo. His name is Shiloh. Shnemar Ad Kiyovo Shiloh. To Reb Yanei Amar Yinon Shmo. His name is Yinon. Shnemar Nishma La'olam V'lifnei Shemesh Yinon Shmo. To Reb Chanina Amar Chanina Shmo. But Bismej Reb Chanina, they said his name is Chanina. Shnemar Asher Lo Etein Lochem Chanino. Yeshom Menachem ben Chizkiah Shmo. His name is Menachem ben Chizkiah. Shnemar Ki Rochok Mimeni Menachem Meishiv Navshi. V'avon Nami Chivra Devei Rebbe Shmo. His name is the leper of the house of Rebbe. Shnemar Ochin Chalyenu Hu Nosei Umachavenu Sivlom. V'nachnu Chashavnu Nagua Muka Elokim Umeuna. Like Nagua Muka Elokim, I guess, is like Tsaras, leprosy. Rav Nachman Imin Chayahu Kigonona. If Mashiach is alive, well then he will be a person like me. Shnemar ve'haya adiro mimenu umoshno mikirbo yetze. Okay. Rav Imin Chayahu, says Rav, if he is alive, Kigon Rabbeinu HaKadosh. It will be like Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Imin Meisayahu, if he's not alive, Kigon Daniel Ish Chamudis. The Mashiach will be like Daniel Ish Chamudis. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Osir HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lahamid Loim David Acher. That in the future there's going to be a Mashiach ben David. Kilu David won't be Mashiach, but a descendant of his. Shnemar ve'avdos Hashem Elokeich as Hashem Elokeim ve'ez David Malcolm Asher Okim Loim, that I will establish for them. Heikim Lo Nemar, not that I did establish, but Elo Okim I will establish. Amar Papa Labai v'oksiv David Avdi Nosi Loim le'olam. But it says that David is going to be the leader. Kigon Kesu Falge Kesu. Well, it's like the Caesar and like his deputy. So main Mashiach will be Mashiach ben David, but David will still be like a quasi Mashiach. All right. Well, that was Daf Tzadi Ches of Masechet Sanhedrin. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.